So you mean to tell me all those late nights, what you doing, where you at? I've seen Jay-Z at his house. I've seen T. Jakes at his house. I've seen Chris Brown at his house. I've seen Jordan Woods at his house. I've seen Travis Scott at his house. I've seen Beyoncé at his house. I've seen Tiana Taylor. I've seen them all.
Not Jason Lee, the same Jason who's now being blasted for allegedly embezzling money straight out of Stockton's pockets just to keep up a flashy lifestyle. And here's the kicker. After being arrested and hit with investigations for stealing public money, this man had the nerve to allegedly accuse Jay-Z and Beyoncé of running some online conspiracy to set him up. You can't make this wild mess up.
In itself, I think Beyoncé could have gave me you know what I mean? Like, there should be a little love there. Now,
maybe she doesn't know.
Beyoncé doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyoncé. And they're not going to share that with her.
Yvette knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts. Yvette know I got the receipts. I got them. Now if I get that message to Beyonce,
yes,
I can get it to I'm connected. I could get the message to Beyonce.
She needs to know.
And I think people like her publicist, who I love, and I'm just being critical. That's just what I do. You know that, Yvette. We're trying to book Kelly Rowland right now. Now, if I don't get Kelly Rowland because I say this about, then it's gonna be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts. The receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out.
The fires that will come of that.
I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now, I'm not playing this industry.
But let's rewind for a second. Who in the world thought it was a good idea to make Jason Lee the vice mayor of Stockton? Out of all people, nobody had Jason Lee on their future politician card, but somehow, here we are. The decision backfired so bad that Stockton itself is now looking like a comedy sketch gone wrong. Meanwhile, the city's finances are bleeding. Millions of taxpayer dollars gone up in smoke. Christina Fugazi, Stockton's mayor, was the one who put Jason in that vice mayor seat back in November. He officially took office in January and wasted no time before getting caught up in shady dealings. By May, yes, just a few months later, Jason was already under fire for allegedly embezzling $50,000 from the city's funds. That's fast work for the wrong reasons. So here's how it went down. Stockton decided to host a live performance of the hit TV show Wild 'N Out Live at the Adventist Health Arena, but ticket sales flopped. Instead of pulling the plug, the city dipped into its risk mitigation fund, throwing $50,000 at the event just to keep it alive. Sounds harmless until the paper trail started getting messy. Former interim city manager Steve Colangelo claims Jason misused that $50,000 without proper approval. And Steve wasn't whispering. He flat out demanded a full internal investigation. According to him, that $50,000 was just the tip of the iceberg. He believes Jason may have been draining millions from city accounts, all under the excuse of supporting events like this. Even worse, Steve alleged Jason had a personal connection to the promoters behind Wild 'N Out and might have been pocketing part of that cash himself. Of course, Jason fired back, denying everything and threatening lawsuits left and right. He pointed fingers at the city's director of economic development, trying to flip the script instead of addressing the heat directly. But with Stockton losing money at record speed and Jason's name tied to shady receipts, the city's so-called vice mayor is looking less like a leader and more like a headline waiting to explode. Jason Lee tried to clap back hard, saying he had nothing to do with that $50,000 deal. He even jumped on Instagram, posting a long caption defending himself. Jason painted himself as a man just trying to elevate his city while haters tried to drag him down. He bragged about how the audit committee had just met. Crickets during the meeting, he said, and that management actually praised Wild 'N Out for their professionalism. He hyped up how the community loved every moment and teased clips coming soon. And then came the warning shot to his critics. If you can't outwork me in policy, opportunity, or inspiration, work harder, because making up lies to do reputational harm won't work when I've got the heart of the people. Jason also flipped the script, saying he believes these allegations are a retaliatory hit because he started asking hard questions about the city's finances in his role as chair of the audit committee. He demanded a public apology and threatened a $25,000 lawsuit for damages over defamation, emotional distress, and harm to his reputation if the accusations weren't retracted. But the most eyebrow-raising part, Jason has been publicly calling out Beyoncé and Jay-Z for months, especially since all that chaos started with Diddy. Some people online have been side-eyeing his posts, wondering if he's really convinced that the Carters were plotting against him. Jason seemed to double down, appearing to affirm that Jay and Bey were indeed behind some of the mess. This wasn't just politics anymore. Jason was turning it into a full-blown celebrity conspiracy showdown. It all kicked off when Beyoncé allegedly refused to invite Jason Lee to the premiere of her Renaissance film, and Jason did not take it lightly. He threatened to spill so-called evidence that could implicate her, marking the very first time he openly came for the Carters.
Why would I, Jason Lee, I'm getting calls, and I haven't even said anything. They ain't called me to go to the Rock Nation brunch. They haven't called me to go to the Gold Party.
To accept being honored.
They haven't called me when we offered to honor Jay-Z at the award show. They didn't call me to go to the press conference about striking the deal with the NFL while we were kneeling for Kaepernick. They didn't call me to ask me what I thought about her hair care product. They didn't call me to offer a free bottle of her perfume. I didn't get to go backstage on her tour for the Renaissance. In fact, when the video circulated making it look like I've been chasing her around like a super fan, which I am a super fan, but I chase nobody. Nobody's called me to clear that up. I haven't gotten a delivery of white flowers with a little card from Beyoncé. Why is everybody calling me now?
At the time, not many people paid attention to Jason's rant. To most, it came off entitled like he was just mad Queen Bey didn't put his name on the guest list. But then things took a darker turn. Once whispers about Beyoncé and Jay-Z's alleged ties to Diddy's wild parties started circulating, folks suddenly paused and said, wait, what if Jason wasn't just being petty? What if he actually knows something? Jason only fueled the fire by hopping on Instagram Live, dropping a jaw-dropping list of celebrities he claimed he personally saw at Diddy's infamous gatherings. He name-dropped Jordan Woods, Travis Scott, Usher, DaBaby, Justin Bieber, Tyrese, Amber Rose, Mary J. Blige, Teyana Taylor, and yes, right at the center, Beyoncé and Jay-Z. His words weren't vague either. He called names with his chest.
You know, a lot of these celebrities, every single celebrity in the culture has been to Diddy's house, which means they've gone through all his phones, text messages. I can read you my text message to Diddy. What day is it airing on the show, on the network? Are you coming on the show? Diddy, what's this? It's all been business for me. It's been business for me. I don't have nothing inappropriate to them people because I don't deal with them like that. So you mean to tell me all those late nights, what you doing, where you at? I've seen Jay-Z at his house. I've seen Jake at his house. I've seen Chris Brown at his house. I've seen Jordan Woods at his house. I've seen Travis Scott at his house. I've seen Beyoncé at his house. I've seen Teyana Taylor. I've seen them all. Now, we was all in the backyard, but I've seen them all. I've seen Usher there. I've seen DaBaby there. I've seen Justin Bieber there. I've seen... Everybody's been to a Diddy party. I've seen Lindsay Lohan, Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Tyrese, Amber Rose. I've seen them all up in there. Mary J. Blige. I've seen them all.
And Jason wasn't done. Days later, he came back with even more heat. He accused Jay-Z and Beyoncé of sending people after him once his comments hit the internet. He said they were trying to intimidate him, allegedly threatening his career, demanding he walk back his remarks, and even asking him to speak on their behalf. According to Jason, he refused every time. Then came his biggest bombshell. Jason claimed he actually killed a damaging report that could have blown Beyoncé and Jay-Z's public image to pieces, but instead of showing gratitude, he says they kept acting like he was invisible. That bitterness turned into motivation, and from that point on, Jason wasn't just ranting. He was on a full-blown mission against the Carters. By this point, Jason Lee had turned his feud into a full-blown war against Beyoncé and Jay-Z, and he wasn't holding back. He painted himself as the insider with receipts, the one person brave enough to say what others were too scared to whisper. Jason claimed the Carters weren't just Hollywood royalty, but power players who used influence and intimidation to keep everyone in check.
I stopped a major thing for Beyoncé. Didn't even get a thank you.
But
So
now
why is everybody calling me now? Because I'm a firefighter. Because I run towards fires and I put them out or I fan the flames. But why is everybody calling me now? And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know, you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping, sharing on TikTok. Watch this. Do your thing, TikTok. Jay-Z and Beyonce is going to see this. I am exhausted with people calling me about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You've never called for anything else, and I haven't even said anything about you yet. And yet I'm getting all these calls. I've gotten more calls over the weekend about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, I think this is an opportunity to have a bridge and have a conversation about how this thing works, because I'm not a publicist. I am not I'm just Jason, okay? And I have opinions about unlocking Hollywood. Remember,
started hinting that Beyonce's polished image was carefully crafted smoke and mirrors. According to Jason, behind the stage lights and flawless performances, there was a ruthless side, a woman who allegedly froze out anyone that didn't play by her rules. He even implied that her tight grip on her image was the reason stories about her personal life rarely made it to the press. Jason insisted that he was one of the few willing to expose how far the Carters would go to control their narrative.
I said at the top of this show, or somewhere in the show, that I was in love with the entertainment industry until I found out it was Jeffrey Dahmer. This is part of the gnawing at the wrist that the industry does. You know, black excellence, we don't show up for each other like we should. And then when the shit's about to hit the fan or some shit, you think I'm gonna go fan some shit. Now you showing up. You know, again, I'm not angry. I'm a little disappointed, because as much as I've loved this woman for years, I told you I don't like her as much as I used to. I still love her, but I'm not as super fan like I used to be. You know how much I was I mean, this woman, this is everything. And this together is everything. But is it? I think this is an opportunity to have a conversation, because I believe that we as a culture should be very supportive of each other before this stuff happens, so that way our proximity to it can help us tell the real story. That's why we got to be working together to tell our stories. But I will tell you, to the audience, if I do come up missing, all the calls I've been getting have been about him. And listen, I haven't had any threatening calls. Nobody has said that they're going to hurt me, so I want to go on record for that.
And when it came to Jay-Z, Jason doubled down with even more allegations. He claimed Jay had been pulling strings in the music industry for decades, keeping artists in his pocket and blackballing anyone who crossed him. Jason told his followers that this wasn't just about music, it was about power. He alleged Jay had connections in politics, business, and media, and used them like weapons whenever his name or Beyonce's reputation was on the line. Jason even brought up past controversies, suggesting that certain scandals mysteriously disappeared because the Carters had the resources to bury them. He teased that he wasn't the only one who noticed. Industry insiders supposedly whispered the same things off the record, but no one dared to speak up. Jason, however, swore he had nothing left to lose, which is why he was willing to risk it all. The more Jason talked, the more the internet split. Half of people rolling their eyes at what sounded like a bitter man lashing out, and the other half wondering if Jason really was peeling back the curtain on Hollywood's most untouchable couple. Either way, one thing was clear: Beyonce and Jay-Z were no longer just music icons in this story. Jason was dragging them straight into a scandal storm they never asked for. Jason has been out here dropping bomb after bomb, revealing things about Beyonce and Jay-Z that he swears they don't want the world to know. And now, according to him, they're trying to silence him. But the deeper truth might be even messier. Jason feels the Carters never gave him the respect he thought he deserved. And instead of letting it go, he's flipping the whole table, claiming Bey and Jay are at the root of his problems. He even doubled down with a fiery post after people started linking them to his downfall. In his words, not liking someone is perfectly okay, but making up lies to destroy their character is not okay. The irony wasn't lost on the internet. Was Jason defending himself or shading the Carters all over again? Of course, the public had their own wild reactions. One user mocked the entire situation, saying, "Jason Lee being a mayor lets me know all I need to know about the city." Another chimed in with even sharper shade. I thought Beyoncé running away was the most hilarious thing surrounding Jason Lee. Him being mayor takes the cake. We are truly living in strange times. The comment sections have been lit with people debating whether Jason is telling the truth or just reaching for attention. Now, the real question is, what do you think? Did Jason really embezzle Stockton's funds? Do you believe Jay-Z and Beyoncé are somehow tangled up in this chaos, or is Jason just spinning tales for clout? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what side you're on. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. I'll catch you in the next one.